Hello everyone, today I'm back in World of Guns, Gun Disassembly, and as you can see today we have a very iconic rifle to disassemble. It is of course the Kar 98K or the Karabiner 98K or the Mauser 98 carbine or the Karabiner 98 Kurz. So basically, a lot of names for the same rifle. This was the main rifle of the German army in basically World War II. They of course adopted it a bit before that in 35, as you can see. So let's jump right in and I'll probably be able to tell you a bit more about this very cool rifle. Alright, so as you can see, this is a very straightforward bolt action rifle. It is made on the Mauser system, which is basically the dominant system in all bolt action rifles, even modern ones. There's some other systems obviously, but this one is very common. So basically, this type of rifle, as I said before, was adopted by the German military, but also a whole bunch of other militaries around the globe, basically on every continent, I would say. That was like in between the wars, and then some countries also adopted them after the war. Because they're bolt action, they're manually operated. They are not very cost prohibitive, and also they're quite easy to manufacture, relatively speaking, of course compared to like self-loading rifles. So it was especially easy for smaller countries that didn't have as much funds to equip their armies with this type of rifle, even after the war, when this design would be very much obsolete, and self-loading rifles would reign supreme. So basically, as I said, there was a whole bunch of countries that adopted these, like Chile, I believe, in South America, and then of course Germany, and then Spain, although I'm not sure if I think they adopted them before the war, maybe even before the Civil War, I'm not sure. But then also after the war, there were quite a few of them made in Spain. Some others include Yugoslavia, where they had a surplus of German ones after the war, and then they made some of their own as well. So that's pretty cool, and it means that you can get this type of rifle fairly inexpensively still, and you get a very good rifle with a nice action. So basically I was looking into getting one of these. Now the German ones, the original German ones, are quite expensive, but as I said, there were quite a few of them made for other countries, and they are virtually identical, which means that you can get like a Spanish one, which is much cheaper, and maybe like a Yugoslavian one as well, much cheaper than the German one. Of course it depends on where in the world you are. So let's take this thing apart and see how it's made. So we take the magazine out. So it's just a floor plate with a spring and a follower basically, and then the bolt comes out. We've got the end cap with the firing pin there, as you can see, and that's pretty much our field strip. As I said, a very simple rifle. So let's just put this back in here. And now this sort of bolt action system would be pretty much standard for World War I and before, and then after the First World War, some countries would start experimenting with self-loading rifles, and some would actually be able to equip their armies with them, such as the US and the Soviet Union. but of course Germany decided to move their resources into other more important stuff than small arms, such as like tanks and airplanes, and so they just stuck with the bolt action. It was good enough. It was not the best, but it was good enough for them. So that's basically how it went down. So anyway, let's go and do some operation. So you'll be able to see how this all functions. Also, I haven't really pointed out this operating or this bolt system is a 2-lug bolt. Let's just open it, can I? Let's just go slow so you'll be able to see the bolt. So it's a 2-lug bolt, and very standard. It's got a nice large extractor, which it's quite famous for, and then this downturned bolt handle. It's got the famous flag safety on the back, the thing that's on the top, and other than that, not very much else to it. I think it's got a 5-round magazine, and the sights are I mean, they're not the best. They're over there. You'll be able to see them when the bolt closes. That's just yeah, they are certainly not the best sights in the world, but I guess they're not the worst either. So that's quite fine. And then we've got this stock, which is the typical German style, with the just a hole in the butt where the sling goes through, and then it's got this quite iconic cutout for the bolt head. Sorry, for the bolt handle head, so that you can get an easier grip on it. Other than that, we've got a forend that goes across the top in a section there to protect your hand. The front sight is very simple. It's got a bayonet lug. That's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and pull this thing apart a bit more thoroughly. Actually, let's just finish this first of all. So let's fire it. So as you can see, it is sort of striker fired, and now that it's locked open, you can see the bolt head. Not very much to it. There's the chamber. Alright, what else do we have to do? Reload, sure. Of course it reloads via stripper clips. I have to press the button. As you can see, just put the stripper clip in this guide and then feed the rounds from it into the magazine and then close the bolt. That was pretty much standard before the Second World War. Right, so the bayonet goes on the front, and nothing special about that. It's just a sort of a larger knife. Alright, we can elevate the rear sight. That's obviously for distance shooting. So if you sort of know what your distance is at what you're shooting at, you just move the sight, and it's got indicated sort of length or distance, and just move the sight to where you think it's correct, and then you can shoot that way. It's not the best way to do it. You're probably not going to be doing any precision shooting past, like, I don't know, 200 meters, maybe 300. That's pretty much the maximum effective range of sights like these. But yeah, it is there in theory. So anyway, we've got a scope mount apparently. And then, oh, can I put a scope on? Apparently I can. Alright, so this is like a modern scope. This is the basic, the most basic European hunting rifle setup right here, basically. it would just be like the fore end would be cut down, and it's pretty much what rifles for hunting still are to this day. Alright, what else can we do? Safety, sure. As I said, there's this flag safety on the back. Let's get rid of the scope. I really dislike scopes on these rifles. I think they are a bit too historical for that. Now, of course, the Germans had some scoped rifles like this. They had some sniper versions and I don't know, other stuff, I guess. But those are not very common nowadays, and they are very expensive probably. So that's the thing as well. Okay, so what else do we have to do? X-ray. Let's do X-ray. As you can see, pretty much you can see the whole thing here. Magazine with rounds, and then one in the chamber. That's pretty much it. Okay, let's just go through the X-rays. That's the firing pin and the fire control group and stuff. There's your bolt. You can see that it locks into the trunnion there with 2 lugs. Okay. What else have we got? Let's do cutaway, shall we? Oh yeah. Here you can see very nicely how the bolt locks. Oh, the hell was that? Where did the rifle go? Oh, for fuck's sake! I think I glitched it. Okay. Let's just get out of here, shall we? Okay. Let's just go into disassembly. I think I managed to somehow glitch the game there, and the rifle just disappeared. Anyway, let's take this thing apart fully. So first of all, the mag comes out, and then the bolt. Okay, and then the bolt comes apart as well. There's the extractor. We've got the firing pin on the back. Let's disassemble this unit as well. So we've got a spring, couple of springs actually. Now I should say I have never disassembled this rifle before. I do have an intention to buy one at some point when I have any money at all, but I have not yet handled one in real life. Right, so we've got whatever that is. I'm not sure what that is. What is this? Bolt sleeve catch. I don't know what that's for. I guess it just sort of catches on the bolt sleeve, which means that it sort of is in place. I don't know. This is the safety. Comes off. That's pretty much it. And then for the bolt itself, we've got this extractor ring. And then I believe that's pretty much it. There's nothing else in there, so that's pretty much it. Okay, what else can we do? Let's do butt plate, sure. Let's do butt plate. And also we're gonna obviously take off the fore end and stuff. Okay. Oh yeah, this comes off now. Nice. Okay. So for the fore end, we gotta take off the barrel bands. So there's the front one, and then this one's got a spring that holds it in place, and then we've got another one comes off, and then the top comes off. Nice. The top of the handguard, and then we've got this front stud that holds the bayonet lug. Alright, and then the stock should come off, maybe, unless there's something else holding it in place. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, it's got some screws down here, the trigger guard. This is quite hard to get to because you can't turn the rifle. Just gotta get underneath there. There's two sort of screws that interfere with each other here and also back here, as you can see. That's to prevent the screw from coming out easily from unscrewing. That's pretty clever. This is pretty much the whole magazine well and the trigger guard and floor plate catch. Okay, and that's just a piece of steel in there. And then we've got the trigger and the stuff. So let's see how that comes out. So this comes out of the stock with the barrel and stuff. And then we've got back here the trigger. Okay, it's got a little spring, and the trigger itself comes out. Okay, and I think that's it for the receiver. Oh no, actually the barrel comes off as well, obviously, and the sight. Okay, the sight base also, and as a spring, yeah, obviously, to keep it in place. Does the front side come off? I don't think it does. No, it is just milled in place. Okay, what else can we take off? There's a thing on the side, bolt stop. Okay, that comes off. It's got a part in there. Okay, and another part, and another part, and that's all. Okay, and then we've got 3 more parts to disassemble. Don't know what they are. Let's look at the stock. Is there anything else in the stock? No. It doesn't appear. Oh, what is this? Oh no, that's trigger guard. I don't think there is actually anything else on the stock. On the barrel, I don't think there's anything else on the barrel. The receiver seems to be stripped quite well. I don't know though. Okay, let's check other parts then. What is this? Does this? No, that doesn't come apart. The bolt, I think the bolt's fine. This thing also. There's gotta be like a very small part that I can't see, obviously. What is this? No, that doesn't come off. Let's just take a hint. Oh yeah, of course, the sight like selector or whatever it's called. Slider, that's the one. And that's it. It's got in total, I think I saw like 88 parts. Oh no, 48 parts. That's why they chose to keep this rifle instead of going to a self-loading one. Now, to be fair, the Germans did go for a self-loading rifle during the course of the war. They went through a couple of them actually. I think the first one was actually in 41 maybe, and then like they had subsequent models until like 43, and then they obviously had their STG, which was in 44 actually, and that was the most modern rifle of the war, the world's first assault rifle. Hopefully one day we'll be able to take a look at that one as well. That's a pretty cool piece of engineering. Alright, so let's put this back in here. Okay, and then we've got let's do the receiver first of all. So this is the thing that goes on the side, and the bolt stop, I believe. It's got a couple of parts, and it just goes on the side of the receiver right there. Okay, there's a screw holding it in apparently. Okay, what else do we have then? We've got the trigger assembly. It's got a spring as well. Okay, and then that goes into the bottom there. Okay, and then the barrel threads onto the receiver. The whole thing should go into the stock. Perfect. And then we've got the handguard, and also we've got the barrel bands. They go over top. We've got this thing, and then the other barrel band. But also we've got a pin here holding it, and this spring also. Quite important stuff. Okay, and then the front band goes on. Perfect. Right, and let's do the trigger. Sorry, the trigger guard and the magazine well. So how do I get this in? Oh no, that actually goes in later, doesn't it? There's a spring in here. That goes in, and then actually this does go in now. We've got some screws for the stock, and we've got some retaining screws here, and there should be one here as well. There it is. Okay. Now the stock is in place. Let's see. I guess we're gonna do the bolt. Let's do the butt plate as well. Perfect. Nice. Okay. And right. So let's do the bolt then. We've got this end cap that needs to be assembled. We've got a safety first of all, and then we've got this thing, which goes on later apparently. Firing pin first of all, with some springs, and then the bolt sleeve catch, and then the end cap, cocking piece. That's the one. Okay, that should all go into the bolt, but before we do that, we've got this extractor collar with the extractor. There we go. And then this assembly goes into the back of the bolt, threads on, and then we've got the whole bolt goes into the rifle, and then we've got the mag. Perfect. And there is our reassembled Kar 98K. Perfect. Alright. So I think we've looked at this rifle quite thoroughly. I've explained some stuff. Please don't be too mad if I got some stuff wrong. I just speak from my memory, and my memory is often not very correct. So please do correct me if you have better information down in the comment section. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I'll be back next time with another hopefully cool rifle. So I will see you next time.